be honest, when we were asked to move to a different city, what was the first feeling? Why did the mind resist? Not because the city खराब था, वहां तो पहुंचे ही नहीं तो पता कैसे लगे. Not because the opportunity was bad. It was simply because the new city was unfamiliar. और हम लोगों को आदत हो जाती है कंफर्ट जोन में रहने की. Human beings dislike changing their state. And strangely, this simple fact may explain not only just human behavior, ये भी बताएगा कि societies और civilizations कैसे behave करती and the reasons for their rise and fall. Because 300 years ago, Newton discovered something extraordinary. He said,
an object at rest remains at rest, or if in motion, remains in motion at a constant velocity unless acted on by an external force.
So Newton was describing not only the behavior of the objects in his three laws, लेकिन history suggest करती है कि his laws are also equally applicable to individuals, to societies and civilizations. Do you believe this? I'm sure you may not believe this, but let's have a look how Newton's three laws are applicable to even individuals, societies and civilizations. So let's move to the first law, the inertia of society. A body remains in its state of motion unless it acted upon by external force. That is, it remains in the same state because of what? Inertia. Now look at this ball. It remains at rest till it is kicked by a young boy. Why is this book or these balls on the billiard table or this car, despite having all the parts to move, is not moving? It's because of inertia. And societies also suffer from the same thing. The society जब कंफर्टेबल हो जाती हैं, सेल्फ सेटिस्फाइड हो जाती हैं, कंटेंटेड हो जाती हैं और कन्विंस्ड हो जाती हैं कि उनके पास सब सवालों के जवाब हैं, they know everything, so they stop learning, they stop innovating, they stop adapting, and people stop questioning. And history shows something very frightening. Civilizations collapse not when they are weak. They collapse when they believe that they know everything, when they are confident, when they feel that they have all the answers. They had powerful armies. The economic condition was also good. Still they fell, collapsed. Ancient Egypt, Rome, Mesopotamia, India, all powerful and confident. And slowly they all became rigid and gripped by what? Inertia. जवाहरलाल नेहरू ने अपनी किताब में लिखा था डिस्कवरी ऑफ इंडिया में, उन्होंने कहा कि इट इज वेरी अनयूजुअल फॉर अ कंट्री एज बिग एंड सिविलाइज्ड लाइक इंडिया टू हैव लॉस्ट इट्स पॉलिटिकल फ्रीडम अनलेस उसमें डिके कई सदियों से पहले लग गई होगी बिफोर द इन्वेडर्स केम. सो डिके हैड बिगन many centuries ago before the invaders attacked India. एल बेरूनी उन्होंने अपनी किताब में लिखा हिंदुस्तान के बारे में thousands of years ago. He said that the people in India believed that there is no country like theirs, there is no king like theirs, there is no knowledge like theirs. They were not stupid, they were frozen. This is inertia. जब inertia strong हो जाता है तो फिर force arrives. Like this one, the ball is lying on the ground, not moving, and the kid kicked the ball. Sometimes, therefore, it comes as a reform, sometimes as revolution from within, and sometimes as invasion. So let's move to the second law. Greater the force, greater the momentum. Now, civilizations move forward only when something pushes them. Now look at this man riding a bicycle. वो slowly चल रहा है अभी. अब जब वो कस के पैडल हार्डर चलाता है तो बाइक तेज चलने लगती है. So new ideas, innovations, scientific inventions, technology, competition, interaction with other cultures, ये सब एक सिविलाइजेशन, एक समाज को आगे बढ़ाती है, तेजी से बढ़ाती है. It gives them momentum. Europe transformed through science. The same happened with Japan. It modernized. Now others who waited for too long, the external force came and pushed them. Agar change, it does not come as learning from within. It comes as invasion. A society that creates its own momentum, it grows. But a society that refuses movement gets moved by someone else. Now let's look at the third law. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Very famous one. So every reform creates a resistance. Every new idea has resistance and creates fear. Every push forward pulls something backward also. When Jawaharlal Nehru was building scientific institutions and research laboratories, he was often asked by people, why are you building all this? India is a poor country, you are wasting money. That resistance was normal. He went on. Now this is physics actually. Think about swimming. To move forward, you have to push the water backwards. The water resists you. But that resistance is exactly what moves you ahead. If you cannot overcome that resistance, क्या होगा? डूब जाएंगे. A society facing no resistance, or in other words, it is destroying the resistance, it may have stopped trying to move, or may not move ahead at all. It may drown. So pride alone, praises, self-praise cannot create momentum and cannot take the civilization ahead forward. Isolation can never create progress. Learning does. Criticism does. Competition does. Interaction does. Open societies are able to generate force from within, which can take it ahead. And closed societies wait. They cannot move ahead until some force arises or arrives from outside. History, although is not perfectly predictable, but patterns exist. Empires do not collapse only when economies weaken. They collapsed because they stopped adapting. They collapsed because they stopped changing. They stopped learning. And the most dangerous movement is when a civilization becomes absolute certain that it knows everything. Newton might have explained the motion of objects. History reveals the motion of civilizations, and the laws are strangely similar. If you do not overcome inertia, you stagnate. You do not generate force and you fall. You do not overcome resistance, you stop moving. You stagnate. The real danger to civilizations is not poverty, not enemies, not even war. It is the moment when a society starts believing it knows everything, it does not require any change and does not require to adapt. Because from that moment, motion stops. And anything that stops moving eventually gets pushed. Newton explained the motion of bodies, but inadvertently he also explained the motion of civilization. The laws of motion may belong to physics, but their shadow can be seen in the destiny of the nations. Thank you. Jai Hind.